Hello, Roanoke. Welcome to T-Bone's Best of Roanoke show, where we go after the best people, places, and things to do in our fair city. Big thanks to our studio band and my special guest host, Mr. G. Now, on with the show. He's Hoppie Vaughan, lead singer, songwriter, and blues guitarist for Hoppie Vaughan and the Ministers of Soul. We're here at downtown Roanoke at the Blue 5 restaurant, and with me as always is my special co-host, the BB King of broadcasting, Mr. G. Welcome, Hoppie.
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to talking to you about your new album, Patient Man. We want to hear more about your band. We even have a question from a fan of the show we want to ask you later on.
Okay.
But first things first. First things first. Where did that name Hoppie come from?
It's a handed down family name. The real name is Harper Leon, and it was my grandfather's name. And they were country boys, and Harper was probably a little bit too formal, so they called him Hoppie in his growing up. And then later on, when he became older, they called him Pop. So he went from Hop to Pop. So one day they might call me Pop. I don't know. It's a handed down family name. So I've been Hoppie since day one.
Hop on Pop is also a book by Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, that gives me gets me to this point. Where did you come from? I know you're not a Roanoke native, are you?
No, I've been here 22 years. The timeline is born in Union, South Carolina, upstate South Carolina.
All
Grew
right.
up around Augusta, Georgia,
Yep.
South Carolina area. Moved to Nashville in #83. Moved here in '96. Well, wait a minute. I left out Huntsville, Alabama. Moved to Huntsville, Alabama in 1980, 82, and came back in Nashville, Roanoke in 1996, and for 2 years. So now, 22 years later, I'm still here because my wife and I love it. We love it here. I'm going out toes up from here.
Why the move to Nashville? Was it because of the music?
It was definitely because of music. Everybody that was worth a crap, from Augusta, all my musician friends had moved up and said, they basically talked me into moving up there.
Yeah.
Hijacked me and said,
Gotcha.
you got to move up here. You got to. It's a legitimate business. If you're going to be in the business and be a musician, a writer, you need to be where it's happening. So we went and looked around, and the next thing you know, we decided to move. So first year was rough. I was in a band traveling around Louisiana, places like that. And my wife was still in medical school at University of South Carolina. So the first year was rough. I was up there trying to find an apartment, trying to, get me. We didn't have kids then, so we made it happen. So that was 1983.
Now, how long were you in Nashville?
Probably that's from 83 to 96,
Yeah.
so 13, 14 years.
Now, were you as popular there as you are here?
No, I was a small fish in a big pond there.
Gotcha.
It's Nashville, so
Yeah.
you hear of a new guy every day. Oh, have you heard of John blah blah? I'm like, no, I never heard of him. Well, have you heard of blah blah? It's a new one every day. It's crazy.
But you were able to do it as a career.
Yes,
correct?
yeah, did a lot of.
Yeah, that sounds a hell of a lot in
Well, I
Nashville.
signed a
doing
writer's
that.
deal with Millsap Music at some point, '85, something like that.
Is that Ronnie Millsap?
Yeah, Millsap's his publishing company, which was called Lodge Hall, is what they signed me to. And I did a lot of demo singing and for writers who can't sing, so I did a lot of that. And then some sessions work too. Bass player, I was more of a bass player then,
Yeah.
because you're in Nashville. I mean,
That's impressive, though, that you can make a living in Nashville. Quote your words, being a small bit.
that's right. And that's the thing. You can have your fingers in a lot of different areas. If you write and play and produce or just hang out and help in the studio.
And you moved here in '96, and what prompted that, Hoppie?
That was a career move from my wife.
Okay.
She works at the VA hospital here.
Right.
And there's VA hospital in every state. So we looked at a lot of different places, Chicago, Lake Tahoe, which I thought might have been good. And she came here in the fall and fell in love with the leaves and said, oh, you got to see it. You got to see this little town. And I had never even heard of Roanoke. So they made her a great offer. And so it was a career move for her and me too, because I was sort of tagging along at that point. She she tagged along with me in Nashville for 13 years, so I kind of tagged along here. But I love it here. It's a great place. There's a lot of talent in this little town, and
Well, we're lucky to have both of you. And how did your blues influence start? I mean, what can you remember when you started working on your craft?
well, I grew up playing soul music, and really didn't like it. I wanted to be a rock and roll star in the early days. But my brother was in a soul band, and we did Wilson Pickett and Mustang Sally and all that stuff, and I didn't really like it. But I knew if I was going to play with my brother, I would have to learn to play these old man R&B songs, which I didn't really like. But I did it, But now it's come full circle because I love that music now, and that was my education.
That's a good background.
I started with that, and then just learned the blues. Probably in Nashville, believe it or not, in Nashville, I was playing with a lady, Miranda Louise Johnson. And that's when we opened for Clarence Gatemouth at a place, and we were talking about that earlier. That's where I got to see him.
Clarence Gatemouth Brown.
Right.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Yeah.
So that's really where I learned the blues.
There's something that I wanted to add.
This is Becky, my manager. Yeah.
Hey, Becky.
Hello, how are you?
Does she go by anything other than Becky? Maybe Becky Boom Boom? Or anything else?
Yep, Becky Boom Boom too. That's my group. I'm not a minister. Hoppie didn't mention his past with Muscle Shoals, but I think that's significant because the recent documentary I think a couple years ago that sort of put it on the map more than it had been before. But tell them how old you were when
I guess maybe, let's see, 20, 19, 20. Really the first band I was in we were from Augusta, but we had made these connections where we went to, this was before I moved to Huntsville, and before I moved to Nashville, we recorded over there in Muscle Shoals.
Great documentary, that Muscle Shoals documentary. Were you actually there?
No, not in that time. But
what history there?
Yeah, but when you go, it's kind of like Memphis. It's just got a feel to it. You feel it. Yeah. You really do feel it.
Nashville in that documentary. I mean, that was a great documentary. Mm-hmm. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, that's quite a pedigree for
I just didn't know it. I was there, and we were just in the studio. But looking back, now I see. I saw it, but I didn't know I saw it, and the feel, or felt it, the feeling of being in that area.
And you also were pretty close to James Brown's paths, weren't you, because of that?
I never met him, but I knew a lot of his band. He was from Augusta, too. All his band guys were there. And he was notorious for hiring somebody in 2 weeks and either leaving them somewhere or just firing them. He was always looking for a new player or something, besides his horn players, He kept a few guys, I guess, for a while, but he would always hire a guy and then get rid of him,
JB.
JB, I love him.
Yeah, he was quite the man. So you've been here since '96. How long have you had the Ministers of Soul?
I'd say about going on 10 years. I was in a band called Fat Daddy Band around here for a while.
Is that Hurley?
It's Kerry Hurley.
Yeah, Kerry.
And Kerry would always say, when he introduced the band, you've seen Kerry, he's bigger than life, He'd say, Hoppie Vaughan, the Minister of Soul. And that's how he would introduce me. And then when this band kind of formed, looking for a band name, I thought, Ministers of Soul. And so Kerry's responsible for that.
Is Kerry still around?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Thrillbillies, right?
I think maybe he's reformed the Thrillbillies. I'm not really sure, but yeah, they're still around.
All right, so the Ministers of Soul, who makes up the Ministers?
Well, it's my son on drums, which is Robert Vaughan.
Man from Uncle.
Man from Uncle. And right now, Jeff Hoffman is the bass player.
Okay.
Although Brad Taylor plays on the album. So I have a bullpen, so to speak, of players. So right now, Jeff Hoffman's on the roster, not on the bench, So, and then Jamiel Allen is my keyboard player. Although on the record, here again, Jamiel plays mostly the pianos parts, and James Pace plays the organ parts. So James is another guy that kind of comes in and out. And I have a couple of different bass players, a couple of different drummers. I use Bruce Wall if Robert can't do it. So I just, like I said, it will always happen as long as I'm there. The show will go on, and it is all hanging by a thread. It really is. It doesn't look like it, but It's show business.
That's
you know.
show business.
It really is. You'll never know. Sometimes to the day or the hour, I never know who's going to show up. 'Cause I forget-
Hoppie, it's not only show business, it's small business. I'm in small business. You're right. Always buy three.
Yeah.
You do what it takes.
So you got to make it look bigger than it is.
Yeah, you're right.
More together than it is. Everybody's doing the same thing,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
Speaking of business, I just snagged somebody here at the restaurant who explained that Blue 5 is called Blue 5 because of the obvious. They like to have blues and soul music here, and there are 5 places in the restaurant that you can, like 5 rooms or 5
Okay.
5 parts of the restaurant. It's divided into
Okay,
5.
there you go.
There you
I
go.
didn't know that. Carrie started the
Becky.
restaurant, I think. Carrie.
He was one of the owners here when it started up, yes.
Okay. So you got this traveling group of musical gypsies that come in and out of your band, and you're the house band here at Blue 5, and you play every Wednesday. Is that
Exactly, yes.
8 to 11?
8 to 11 every Wednesday, and we call it house band, but to me, a house band back in the day was a band that played in a place like 6 nights a week. And that really, to me, is house band. But yeah, this is our steady, our home base.
Okay.
It's here. This venue has made the band really, because it's another thing I boast about is the band has never rehearsed. We have never had a practice. Like, okay, meet at my house and we're going to go over these songs. You know, we're going to practice. We're going to rehearse. We have never had a rehearsal, ever.
Well, these guys just must stay in shape.
Well, the venue here is sort of our. It's a live rehearsal, I call it.
Yeah.
You know, if I have a new song, which I have a new song now I'm working on, I'll bring a chart and go, here it is, here's the chart, hit it, you know, and we go through it. It's a little shaky at first, but by the 3rd or 4th time, you know, I'll know if that song's going to make the list or not.
Well, last month, I think you debuted your new CD, Patient Man. It was
Yeah.
right here at Blue 5. 10 songs. You wrote 9 of the songs.
Yes.
Is that typical? You write most of your material?
It is, although we do a lot of obscure cover songs, I would say, and I put my own stamp on all the music I do, so people think that I wrote some of the songs that I really didn't write, you know. So I guess that's what an artist does. He paints his own version of the song. So yeah, the one song is a Subdued song. It's the last one, but people wouldn't know it unless you read it on the credits. They would just think it was one of our songs.
So you recorded it here?
In Bedford,
In
Bedford County,
gotcha.
a place called Fainting Goat Studios. Will Gurley is a young engineer out there, very good, knows his equipment, and that's where we did it. It took about 11 months. And
I'd like to say something about his live rehearsals, having had the privilege of being invited up there to sing. I always tell Hoppie this when we talk about my opportunities to do that. He makes you feel safe because you just feel like Hoppie's in command. And everybody always says that the singer is the leader, and that's not something that, you know, I feel the pressure to do when I go up there. And I just always feel like he's got every one of us covered. He's glancing, giving subtle nods. He's telling you what to do. He's coaching you on an ending. And there could not have been a better way for me to start singing than to have that opportunity to get up there, because I just feel safe. That's just the only word, and I can't imagine the other
Yes.
musicians don't feel exactly the same way. They feel like he's in charge.
Yes,
He's
I
going
am.
to give you chin nods. He's going to do whatever. It's subtle, but the whole time he's playing. He's, you know, using the slide. He's giving people cues. He's telling me what's coming next. It's just quite a production, and no one would have any idea it's a live rehearsal.
You know, I have to see a show. I've never seen
Oh, man.
seen you play.
and that's part of it, you know.
Well, you just get the feel that would be one great show. That it's just nothing rehearsed.
No, and I
just
never know
a
what's going
good
to happen
time.
sometimes, but I know it's going to be good. You know, I know it's
Exactly.
going to be
You
great.
just get that feel talking to you both.
Well, and the energy in the room, and the energy when you come down after you've sung, and everybody's literally saying, you know, giving you their feedback, and they have such such a high opinion of Hoppie and the group, and you're so energized, and people are in such a good mood, and you know that's his thing.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. You really look like you're having fun.
Yeah,
You look like you're
I just pick it up just
enjoying
talking
yourself.
to you
I like,
both.
well, yeah, I wouldn't. I'd be doing something else if I did.
Yeah.
Well, when I was here that Wednesday night, it was packed, Jay. It was
I
packed.
can imagine it's probably always packed when you play. Just from what
Well,
I
not
see.
always, it's not always. It's still a struggle.
Well, I was listening to some of your songs on the way over here. Ordinary Man, I like that a lot.
Yes.
Whistle Past the Graveyard.
Right.
The Boom Boom Room.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
then Secondhand Blues. All
Yeah.
those are very good songs I like.
Yeah.
What goes into what songs you pick out for the album, CD?
It all happens right here, believe it or not. That's why this gig is so important. This is like the testing ground.
Okay.
The beta testers are the people out here,
Yeah.
and they tell me which ones are the best because I think they're all pretty good. And it's hard for me to say you're going to like this song. I'm doing this. I go by people, crowd reaction, audience, and my fans clamoring for it. You need to put this song on a CD.
How many songs are on a CD?
10 on this
10.
last one. Usually
So,
8 to 10, 10,
8 to 10.
11 maybe.
How many CDs have you done?
Well, let's see. I have 4 right now that I sell, and I did 2 before that are just a little older. And now I'm starting to go back on some of those older. They're more home recording, so they don't sound quite as good. But the songs are good. So like Dixie Cup, for instance, is on an older CD. So I brought that one back and re-recorded that one. So I may go back and re-record some of the other.
I saw that on the YouTube list, which was very impressive to listen to. Brittany Sparks, did you do a duet with her?
It wasn't a duet. She was hired on the last album, which is Living the Dream,
Yeah.
as a backup singer.
Okay.
So we just wanted a different flavor in the backup vocals section, and we hired her for that.
Okay. She's local, right?
Yes, yeah, great singer.
Yeah. Okay, and then you mentioned some of the old chestnuts maybe that you might cover. Are these two popular for you? B.B. King, Nobody Loves Me But My Mother, and sometimes She's Jiving Too.
Right.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Boom Boom, Out Go the Lights.
Yeah, I've played all those songs, So sometimes I will balk on a song recording it if it's just been done.
Yeah,
Like we do,
not so much.
I was born by the river, down in a little tent. What's the song? But everybody wants me to record that song, but I don't know. It's just been done so many times, very well. I just don't know.
Are there songs that that just never make it to the CD and they're just gone? You try them out, like you got 8
yes.
or 10 on a CD.
Oh, yeah.
You maybe try 15 and just 10 make the cut.
Yes.
These other 5 never.
Well,
play
I
them
write
again.
so many different kinds of songs too. I like to kind of at least get it in some kind of ball where it's in the ballpark, so to speak.
Right.
So I write like little country songs and little silly songs. Whistle Past the Graveyard was one of those songs that I didn't expect it. I just never know. You never know till the end. That's why I tell songwriters, finish the song. Don't have a bunch of songs laying around. Finish it and move on. Finish it and move on to the next one.
Which comes first for you, Hoppie, the tune or the germ of the lyrics?
The melody is
melody.
usually what comes because early days I learned classical guitar, so melody and chord and rhythm all kind of playing together. So most songs come from that. If I had my guitar here, I'd play something like Whistle Past the Graveyard. It just started out as a little ditty. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 boom, 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 like a Chet Atkins little finger picking thing. And I thought, what does it sound like? It sounds like a silly kind of like whistling past the graveyard. So I thought,
So you just build on
So
that.
I matched the lyrics to whatever the feeling of the music is.
Very nice.
Like Boom Boom Room. Yeah, we're going to the Boom Boom Room.
Just so happens I have a guitar here.
I do too. It's in the car there.
And you also, when you're not with the ministers, do you do something, 2 guys and a guitar?
I do an act with Bob Casey
Yep.
every other Thursday at the Green Goat.
At the
Green Goat.
Well, tell us
Is that
a little
right?
bit about that.
Well, that started out as 4 of us one night. We're at my friend's house, we're in the back porch, drinking some beer, and somebody said, "Have you got any new songs?" I said, "Yeah, I got this." So he only had one guitar, so it was 4 of us. So I played, and I said, "Well, okay, well, it's your turn." It's Taylor, so it's his turn. Well, he played, and then the next guy played. So it's like a songwriter in the round, but only one guitar. So everybody's not. When one guy's playing, the other 3 guys are listening.
Okay.
They're not noodling or trying to insert what they know over your song, which can be distracting.
Every Thursday?
Every other Thursday.
Is it this Thursday?
Yeah, tonight. Yeah,
Tonight.
So
What
this
time?
is 2 guys and a guitar, not 4.
That's
but
right.
that's how it started. I said we should make this an act.
Yeah.
2 guys and a guitar. So when he's playing, I'm either listening or playing a little drum or
Making faces.
singing, or getting up and use the bathroom, whatever. I can do anything I want to. And then it's my turn. He hands the guitar back to me. And I hand it to him. He hands it to me.
Are y'all 6 to 8 at Green Ghost?
6 to 9.
6 to 9.
Wow. Tonight.
You down
it'll
for
be-
it tonight?
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
just
how
live
that
right
started.
up the road from there. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do a solo.
And solo, exactly. I have to fill the calendar up. I have to, because the band doesn't work all the time. So I do solo gigs at the Pine Room here at the Hotel Roanoke, and a few country club gigs around here. So
That's how we met Hoppie. We
At the
stumbled
Pine Room.
into the Pine Room, and there was this extraordinary act.
Tell us that story.
Well, it's a great story because it created a wonderful friendship and opportunity. My husband and I had just moved back here to Roanoke, and we went into the Pine Room, which when we lived here previously was our favorite little date place, little quaint, quiet date place. The Pine, the ambiance was nice. And he had called ahead to find out who the act was, and it wasn't, we were told a name other than Hoppie, but we didn't care. We just wanted to hear live music and have snacks. And so we went in, and when I was at the bathroom, my husband boldly walked up to this man during his break and asked if I could sing a song with him, and he very politely said
I get it all
yes.
the time. But usually I say, no, I have to hear you first. You can't just come up here and think you. Blah, 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 blah.
But there was something.
For some reason, I said, sure, why not?
Well, and I sang, and it was probably the funnest thing besides having kids of my life. Much more fun than teenagers. But anyway, so he came over later and chatted, and I went up and sang another song. I think I sang Bonnie. I know I sang Bonnie Raitt, "Love Me Like a Man" the first time, and then I think I did the, much asked for Angel from Montgomery, I
Montgomery.
believe, which I did. And then he told us about Blue 5 and suggested that we come some night, and we came in on a Wednesday night, and he remembered us by name, came over to us during a break and said, "So you're going to go up there and sing that Bonnie Raitt song?" And I just about died. I think I went back in the bathroom and took several deep breaths and looked at the lyrics and went back out, and once again, I just immediately from the Pine Room forward felt safe performing with Hoppie. I felt like his invitation was sincere and that he was the real deal, and I would probably have never had the confidence to do that with anybody else. And so that's the story, is how I met him, and it wasn't even that long ago.
And your management company for Hoppie, Cross-Eyed Cat?
Cross-Eyed Cat Management.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Cross-Eyed Cat is from Muddy Waters?
It's mine and my husband's favorite blues song. We think it was best performed by Muddy and Johnny Winters. It's just a very harmonica-driven song, but it's just a great, powerful song, and I have to give my husband credit for that. When Hoppie asked if I wanted to manage, and of course I said yes. My husband said.
We started out with the bio.
Oh yeah, the bio. That's
She
right.
talked about how Mark said she's a great writer.
She's a great writer?
Yeah, writer. And I said, well, I've written my own bio and it's awful, and I need somebody to rewrite my bio. And so that's how that blossomed. And then the next thing was sort of jokingly, but I really need a manager because I can't wave my own flag. I can't go, hey, I'm the greatest. You should listen to me. I don't.
Well, and that's
can't do
actually
that.
that's one of the things I've told him, and I say it all the time because it's a simple thing that people understand. Is Hoppie doesn't give himself enough superlatives, and that I have no problem with. I mean, I think y'all feel that way when you hear good music. You just get excited and you want to say great things, and so it's a lot easier for me to pat Hoppie on the back than it is for him to. It's not hard to promote something you really like. So.
You know when it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Hoppie, as promised, we have a question from a friend of the show.
Okay.
Every so often we'll do radio interviews, and our friend Bronco will come up with a question.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, I'll read it for you.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Dear Hoppie, I want to be a real blues man like you. Tell me some artists you would recommend I start listening to so I can get my blue on. Signed, Bronco, Blue and Big Lick.
Yeah. Well, I'd say all the classic blues artists, you know, I would listen to that. Of course, B.B. King, all those great guitar players. Now I'm drawing a blank here. Buddy Guy.
Buddy Guy, yeah.
Well, he made me sing a Howlin' Wolf song. I do Evil when I sing with Hoppie because that was his suggestion, Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah, and Muddy Waters, and just listen to Robert Johnson. You know.
Robert Johnson.
They say Robert Johnson would go in a corner and face the corner and play because he didn't want anybody to see what he was doing. You don't want anybody to steal his licks, but that's kind of what you have to do is steal the licks from these players. It's okay. And then, because you're really not going to play them exactly like these guys are going to play them, you're going to put your own heart into it, your own stamp on it. So, you know, learn it, try to copy it best you can, because you can't.
Right.
Contemporary, you like Kevmo a lot.
Kevmo's
yes.
awesome.
He's crazy down there.
Hey, where's John Prine fit in?
He's a great songwriter to me, and I don't think he's all that. He's not known for being a player.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Stevie Ray's great. Yeah, oh yeah, Stevie Ray.
Eric Clapton.
All these guys. Eric Clapton, yeah.
Kebmo, K-E-B-M-O. He came on the scene 10, 15 years ago, but I think he's been through the Roanoke circuit.
He has. He plays down at the Harvester.
Yeah.
Which we have a show coming up at the Harvester, too.
When? Tell us about that.
That's November 11th.
I think it's November 10th, and he's
10th,
opening
that's
for
right.
Paul Thorne, which
Paul Thorne
kind of
opening.
cool because he's another really good songwriter. So, yeah, Paul Thorne. I think it's November 10th or 11th that he's opening. He also opened in April for the James Hunter Six.
That's when Tad Dickens wrote about your song "Born in a Pickup Truck."
Right, yeah.
That was quite a nice story. It perked my interest in you.
Yeah, it did, yeah. So, yeah, when I wrote that song, it was, just came up with this thing, down, little gut bucket kind of, I thought, God, this sounds like a kind of a new country song, which I don't know, I just write them. They come out and I just write them. So I thought, Born in a Pickup Truck, that's,
You need to hear that, G.
yeah, I
Maybe
thought,
we'll hear it tonight.
surely that song's been done. I mean, who hasn't written a song about, a pickup truck and, dogs and mamas, and,
Being born in a
mama got
pickup
run
truck.
over by a pickup. I thought, surely that's
South Carolina.
So before I even started writing the song, I Googled it to see if the song was out there somewhere. You can't copyright a title. I could still write a song called Sweet Home Alabama, but I wouldn't, So I looked it up, and it's never been written. So I thought, well, I'm going to continue on here, and write the song. So
And it's quite the song. I
That's
think it was the first song you played the night you launched the CD here. It was very, very good.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
yeah, thank you.
And it's on the Patient Man.
It is. It is.
Okay. Well, as we wind down here, tell us anything else you want to highlight. What are the future plans for Hoppie and the Ministers of Soul? Where can we find you? Where can people see you?
Well, the best thing to do is go to the website, which is hoppievaughan.com. It's HOPPIEVAUGHAN.com. And my schedule is always there. And on the splash page, what's going on right now? What's new? What are we doing? So it's just right now. It's just the usual stuff. Every Wednesday here at Blue 5, and gigs here around town. Maybe 100-mile radius. Right now, we're not that big. We're not big time yet. So we're hoping to expand next year into the festival arena. That's what we're hoping for.
The Harvester's a good gig.
Harvester's a good gig. That's coming up. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
the shows that come through there, that's impressive.
Yeah, we've opened for Delbert there twice, and then James Hunter, and then we got the Paul Thorne thing coming. So Gary Jackson is the guy that runs the place down there. He's great. He's a great supporter of me, and anytime something comes along, he's like, "Hoppie, you want to open for blah 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 blah?" Yeah, thank you. So
He also did a blues cruise a couple of years ago that had a lot of big names on it.
Did
A blues cruise?
the legendary rhythm and blues cruise.
You get on a boat on Smith Mountain Lake or what?
Oh no, it's the ocean. This is big ocean. Big ocean.
All right. Wow.
So that was fun too.
All right. Very nice. Well, thank you both
You're
again.
very welcome. Thank you.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we look forward to hearing you on the radio and everywhere around Roanoke and beyond.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank you.
tonight at the Green Goat.
Tonight at the
right.
Green Goat. Thank you both.
Thank you.
I'm a patient man. was crazy.